Okay, hello, it's Victoria Gibson here, and today I'm diving into the principles of finding your audience on Facebook. That is the best way to target the most ideal audience for your product or service and inspire them to connect with you, either to sign up for something that's on offer, watch a video, engage with a post, respond to an offer, or buy a program or service or a product. Okay, so it's this is kind of, you know, it's second behind getting your ad creative right. So when I talk about creative, I mean text and imagery, because that's really what stands out first. But really, if you're getting that in front of the wrong people, you're not going to get the outcomes that you're looking for. So you want to be very clear about who your market is, and then we can go about looking for them on Facebook. So in terms of clear who that your market is, I want you to think about a couple of different layers. Firstly, the layer is demographic, and secondly, I'm just going to start showing my screen there for you too. It's psychographic. Okay, so with demographic, we're thinking about the factors that make us know where they are and who they are. So we think about their location, their age, their education, their sex, what languages they speak. Those kind of things are all sort of demographic factors, okay? But just having demographic factors isn't going to really allow you to expose or exploit the strength of Facebook, which Facebook is in everyone's minds, right? They've got several billion daily users over the world. They check what everything's being posted, what they're liking. They're basically developing up profiles on their users, right? So what that enables us to do is get in the hearts and minds of people. So rather than just saying, well, we want to target working mothers who are 38 to 45 who live in New York City, we want to say, well, no, actually, we want busy working mothers who are 38 to 45 living in New York City who, like Danielle Laporte, watch Sex and the City, read Red Book magazine, and wear, shop at Nordstrom or something like that, right? So we can go into what kind of designers do they wear, what sort of books do they read, who are some self-help gurus that they're into, who as well for us is who's following our competition, right? We can get in front of those people too. The next layer down from the psychographic one is people. So demographic and psychographic are great for audiences who don't know us yet. Okay, so when you're starting from scratch, you've got to get some things moving. You've got to make the best strategies and guesses in terms of who is going to be most likely to be your buyer or to be someone who's in your client, buyer, customer, someone who's going to be in your tribe, your follower, your supporter, whatever it may be. So you're going to be building a community where you give value, and then obviously you're going to have times where you're going to offer things for sale as well. But ideally, we want to build a community of value so that we've always got an audience to talk to, connect with, inspire, and get to invest with us, right, at the end of the day, because that's what we're in it for. We've got to drive sales. Facebook ads are going to cost us money. We want to get a return on this, okay? So don't forget there is a return on still building a community, because you can start to measure the value of every subscriber on your list eventually. So whatever we can be doing to increase the number of email subscribers, and also that second layer after cold traffic of warm traffic that we can cultivate on Facebook and target as well. And I go into that in one of the other videos where I talk about retargeting, where we're going back to some of our audiences that we've cultivated, but or website viewers or people who followed us on social media. Or otherwise, we might want to start building those audiences from scratch too. So I can show you how to do that. So I'm going to use Rebecca's account for this to give an idea of some of the targeting. So I'll give a bit of a real life example here about what the potential could be. So when we're looking at the screen here, so I've decided to make this a bit more practical rather than put, sort of slides with text up for you. So now your ads manager may be different from this. It may have changed, but look, the principles are still going to be the same. This ads interface changes like nearly every month. So the general principles stay the same. You should still be able to sort of find your way around to what I'm talking about here. If we go up to the left-hand side, because at the moment we're in the ads manager, if we go up here, I want to go to all tools and have a look at the section that says plan, okay? This can be a really great place to start, particularly if you've already created some Facebook audiences, or you've already got a large number of people following your Facebook page. If you've already got a large number of people following your Facebook page, you're able to go into a thing called Audience Insights. And in Audience Insights, we can go in and look at the specific sort of activity and other pages that our people who already follow us like, right? So that can be quite beneficial. Now, I'll show you how that looks, and then I'm going to show you how that may not be possible for you because you may not have enough people liking your page, but I just want to show you the feature and how perhaps you can use it, okay? So yes, it tells us everyone on Facebook and certain cities and genders and things like that, so you can use it broadly to say you're doing some more local area marketing. You might want to say, okay, say for me, I live in Melbourne, okay? So I want to find out perhaps what are the most popular things, set to the United States. Whoopsie days, I've got to turn that off here. Turn that off, I'll go Australia first. For me, you can do this whatever country you're in, and then I might go Melbourne. And then say I know my audience is, or the audience I'm shooting for might be, say, 30 to 44. I can put that in. And then I can say that they're women. Click that there. And then I can say, okay, well, we know that there's far more people in the 35 to 44 market on Facebook. That would probably be because, you know, there's more people filtering in 25 to 34, filtering to Instagram and Snapchat. So the bulk of the audience really is on that 35 to 44. We can see mainly they're married. Facebook users are mainly married, okay? Yes, there's still 19% who are single. But overwhelmingly, the trend there is women in Melbourne in the age range I'm targeting are going to be married, and most are college educated or university educated, so that's pretty cool. Then we can go in and see, okay, their job titles, these are sort of management. There's quite a few, 39% are in management. So this is quite an educated audience that Facebook have on here, actually, I've got to say. I'm a bit surprised how educated it is, so that's great. So we can then say here in interests, we can look at an actual interest, like we can say, let's go here. Even if we say, all right, say I had a relationship product and I want to look at dating. So who's with those who are interested in dating, okay, the age we're seeing is about the same. Oh, the thing we can look at here is page likes. Okay, so who, out of all the single women with that demographic information that we have, what kind of pages are they looking at? Now, this is always a great one. Michelle Bridges' 12-week body transformation in Australia. That's a weight loss online program. She's an ex-Biggest Loser trainer. That can be a great sort of health, lifestyle, beauty, fashion, all over kind of page is a good one. So that's one of the most popular pages. So is Power of Positivity. So we know, okay, great. We know that single women aged 30 to 44, we could narrow this down if we wanted to as well in terms of the age and have a look. This is where we're going to get some ideas. Some of these are a bit too broad, right? Things like Australia.com, IKEA, McDonald's. Brightside might be okay, but yeah, some of these other ones like Vin Diesel and stuff's probably a little bit broad. We can drop it down and even get some more. So websites, they're into eBay, Melbourne warehouse sales, Cadbury, Tiffany & Co. So maybe if we're looking for a more affluent or like, you know, fashion conscious one, we could put Tiffany in there. Keep in mind that because these are more popular, sometimes when we go to use them for targeting, they can be a little bit too popular and give us a bit too general audience. But they're always a good place to start if you're not sure where your people are. In Australia as well, Chef Pete Evans is a good one. We've got some Chanel, Tic Tac, those kind of things as well. So movie, Dirty Dancing, great. That's very much of a sort of, woman in her 30s, probably more 40s, I've got to say, being 40s myself. So we've got some ideas. So you're not just starting from scratch. So now, when I started doing Facebook ads 6 years ago, you really had to dig around on Facebook and see what people were liking. One of the things you might do here, okay, so that's for people who are dating. What about if we wanted to put in something like raw food, so raw foodism? If people are into that, what kind of things do they like? We can see straight away they like Chef Pete Evans. This is in Melbourne, by the way. Clean eating recipes, broadsheet, some frocks. So these are all popular kind of pages that are probably going to give us a really good idea of who our market is and how we can get to them. So this tool is like really quite invaluable. It's excellent. So if you're stuck looking for things, then this is a good place to go. When I'm going to have a look for one of my clients, Rebecca has she's got wellness coaching templates. So she wants to get in front of people wanting to build a nutrition practice here with a landing page. So we might go, okay, let's go back to here and see, she's in Canada. So even if we just said Canada to start, we probably more want to go in the US and see, we'll put United States as well. And then we want to say they're normally going to be, they might be more like 24, 25, so maybe 24 to 44. And then we're going to say, interest, maybe nutrition coaching or wellness coaching. Let's see what comes up with that. Health coaching. Okay, so it mainly comes more in health coaching. Maybe we can even put job titles here. So we could put, might be under healthcare. Maybe I'll put nutrition. There were people who, nutritionists, let's put that there, and see what comes up. So if we go demographics, like let's look at what the most popular age is. We're seeing, okay, so it's skewed younger here. We've got 25 to 34 more in that bracket than 35 to 44 for this area. So it might be wise to just target the 25 to 34 to start and see how that goes. These are kind of demographic profiles that Facebook use with a research agency to give people an idea. They're on the go, so they're probably like busy. You can go into the profiles and see what the difference is. That's not as great as going into, okay, what pages are they liking here? Great, we've got Whole Foods Market. Might be a bit broad for this because, we want to make sure that we've got something a little bit more kind of filtered down. Food Network, maybe. These still seem, because they're really popular, they might be a little bit too popular for us. But I'll be looking here to go, okay, what ones are jumping out at us that, perhaps we could get someone that we know probably more likely to be health and wellness coaches. Now, based on that, it's probably, I wouldn't really use any of those. They're not probably, apart from maybe Whole Foods Market I could use, but I'd almost want to layer that because we're going to get a lot of people outside of health coaching and nutrition. Well, another overlay we could try here for Rebecca is that we've been building some custom audiences on Facebook based on video viewers and people who've interacted with her posts and pages. So we can put on there that we can look at her list, or we can look at people who've been interacting with her Facebook pages and posts. So if we do that, we can see, Mind Body Green, that'll be a good one to use for her. They're obviously more to the left leaning with Justin Trudeau and Barack Obama, given that, they're sort of health and wellness oriented. That's not surprising. The Institute for the Psychology of Eating I've wanted to use before. We can't target them because that's another sort of health coaching practice, which would be great, but I couldn't target them. But we have been targeting Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So actually, this is giving us everything we need anyway. We don't need to go into her page to find this out. This is what's so great. We don't have to mess about in Facebook. We can go in here and see Chris Carr would be fabulous, Mark Hyman, David Wolf. Excellent. All of these has just given us a whole lot of Nourish Kitchen is also really, really good. So now we've got like a number of things that perhaps we haven't been using that we could jump into, because these are already people who we know are on her list and what kind of pages they're liking. So look, I put 24 to 44 there, but we might even want to open it up and see, might not be big enough. But that's great. The page likes are coming in. Where are they located? So then we can go, okay, where are they? It's not really going to tell us. It doesn't have it. Okay, page likes, we'll take that. Thank you very much. Okay, so they're the main one we're going to have a look at. Oh, Food Matters is also awesome. Related ones. That's not what's come up in here, but that just gives us right now a list of pages that we should have a look at that are related to this, that we should be targeting. So fantastic. We've got that ready to go, which really, really solves a problem here. So when you've been building up those custom audiences, that can be just fantastic. So I might even just want to screenshot that because I want to keep that for later. So I can refer back to it when I'm getting out of here. Okay, so I shoot that screen and, oops, okay. So now I want to go back into the audience here. I want to get out of there. Oh dear, now my Snagget's off and running here. I shouldn't have opened anything extra because I've already got too many tabs open and I'm screen sharing here, so just forgive me. Okay, so we go back into, I want to show you where you're going to use this information. So if we want to get back to basics, we're going to go into the Ads Manager and then, we could have actually just created an ad to show you how to do this. So now that we know the page, now we've done a bit of data and looked at, okay, how can we be targeting, who can we be targeting, and how can we find our audience, particularly if you haven't already got a custom audience set up, then that is the best way. Using audience insights is going to lead the way, and it's such a gift compared to what we used to have to do back in the day. So nice little hack there. And before, actually, it wasn't giving us a lot of information on smaller pages before, but now it's really, Facebook seemed to have upped the ante on that, which is excellent. So if we want to create an ad, all we do is click on the green Create an Ad button here. And I'm going to want to put up, drive some traffic to that opt-in page. So I'm going to select in my campaign website traffic as my objective, my campaign objective. So it's what I want to achieve most is traffic to my offer. Really what I want to achieve is link clicks, but it comes under traffic, okay? Now why I'm choosing that is because rather than say conversions, of course I want conversions, but Facebook aren't going to have enough data yet because we haven't run any traffic to this page. So they're not going to have enough data yet to sort of figure out how to serve up those ads as best as they can. So we want to initially start with traffic, and I'll just show you where the targeting data is that we can go to, because the good thing is that we can now, using those audience insights, is that if Facebook have listed those pages, except for Institute of Psychology of Eating may not come up. So what we might find now when we go to put them in is not all of the pages that we want to include come up. This is the most common barrier. We find all these amazing pages, so maybe there are competitors, or we know they've already gathered large numbers of people who like those pages, and we're like, great, let's do that. And then it won't let us put it in, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we just put in here, it's just a bit slow. Sorry, it's not letting me touch that. I'm just going to cancel out of those placements. So I'm going to select the website or messenger, and here I'm just going to put nutrition bundle. Okay, and then I'm going to, I could use one of my custom audiences, but I'm not, because I'm going to use the data that we've used from Audience Insights. And I'm going to try that in Canada, United States, and Australia. I could probably go United Kingdom as well. and Ireland, New Zealand if I wanted to. I'll just do the top 3 for now. So in terms of demographics, we know that these 3 countries are generally the sort of highest performing English speaking countries. Even though United Kingdom's a big one, it can often be harder to get response depending on your offer there. But these 3 generally perform quite well. So we're not going to add worldwide and target other countries that Facebook deem we should, because that's just a way that Facebook want to serve up ads to countries where the ad space is not as competitive, okay? So we know from what we saw in the audience insights that we had sort of a younger, we could go sort of 24 to 35 was our core audience for the topic. So let's go in here and start there. Woo. And then, no, mainly women. And now it's under here. So if you decide to go in countries that aren't predominantly English speaking, you can put English in here. But because we're going English speaking countries, we don't need to put anything in language. Detailed targeting is where we're going to use those page names that we looked at. So there was Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I know that we can get that in here because I've used it before. Okay, so there's a few. One's an interest, one's a school of study. So all of those, we want to get all 3 of those, because even if they're interested in it or they have been there, then that's going to be good. So we'll put all of those. Oh, the Institute for Psychology of Eating is in there, so that's perfect. Let's grab all of those. So we click on them. So the beautiful thing is when they come up as a drop down or something to click in, then we know that Facebook have already included it. So we can use that. I don't know why there's so many Institute for Integrative Nutrition ones listed here, but let's include them all. And I want to include, not naturopathy, I want to include the Institute for Psychology of Eating as well. So you can see we're going to really be able to drill down here, which is great. Now I can go, you'll see this is the other beautiful thing about Facebook. They really are trying to make it a lot easier for us advertisers to get to the right people. So now it's giving me a whole lot of other associated terms that I may or may not want to use. But if someone is a health and wellness coach, then and that's their job title, we can see here, great, let's use that as well. A certified health coach, great, we can try that one. Health and wellness coach, yeah, let's put that there. I mean, I'd almost prefer to just keep it with these up here because we've already got 190,000 people. I don't really want to go crazy with too many general things. So I might actually take that off for now because sort of want a few more nutrition people. So let's grab this, take this off as well, the health and wellness coach one. I want to go a bit narrow for this one. I can split up some of my target if I want to bundle those other general terms together. I can set up a duplicate my ad and go a bit broader and then see how that performs. But I prefer to separate, like if I'm going quite narrow here, I'd rather keep it narrow, okay, and then go a bit more broad in another ad set. So that's largely with the targeting. I'm going to set that up. I also want you to know, I'm not going to do this in this one, but I've got the opportunity in the targeting to exclude people or narrow my audience. So say I might want to look for these people, but maybe I don't want business or people who are already into business or marketing, just for whatever reason, just argument's sake. Then I can exclude people too. So I can exclude people who also like, say, Marie Forleo, right? So I can put that there. Maybe I don't want Marie Forleo's people, or maybe I don't want people who are into like an MLM selling or things like that. So you can see that Marie Forleo is across a lot of them. Like it took 100,000 people, it took more than half. So that also gives us some great insight that we know that these people are likely to be following Marie Forleo as well, which is great, right? So that gives us a bit of insight. Equally, we can narrow the audience and go, all right, well, we only want to go to the entrepreneurial ones and we want to only go to the ones who like Marie as well. So we click on narrow audience there too. So you see how we've got all this power here. It's amazing. But it doesn't stop there. We can also go into add demographics, interests, or behaviors, okay? So if we want to look at jobs or something, we can go, all right, well, we might say they're a nutrition consultant. We could put that there as a narrowing. Or we can look at, rather than narrowing, we just go in here and go, okay, I want to have browse. And then I can look at fields of study. I can look at level of education. I can look at whether or not they're a parent, whether or not they intend to travel, income data. So all of this. So we've got education. So there's education level, fields of study, the school they went to, what year they were doing undergraduate degree. Financial, this depends in different countries. You might need to split those up into single countries in your ad. There's income and net worth. So you can overlay these people with income if you wanted to. The type of generation they are, whether they're boomers, X or millennials, home ownership, home type, household composition, life events, married, engaged, away from family, birthday, it's pretty cool. So they're in a new relationship, newly engaged, their parents, what sort of politics, because Facebook get all this information from their profile. So it's pretty amazing, right? There's all this stuff on here. There's behaviors, job roles, even what mobile phone they might use. So you might need any of these for yours. In this instance, we probably don't need that extra layer, but you just dive in here and start going into browse and start browsing all the power that's in here. It's really very simple. So give it a go. If you can't find an audience to start testing with based on that, then something's wrong, because this is going to be the first step. You might then want to drill down and go, okay, now that you know that cold traffic, you may want to set up your own custom audience where you start showing posts or videos to that audience and then start collecting the people who've engaged with that. So then you have your own sort of custom audience overlay of the people out of who you think would be interested, those people who are, and they're actually engaging with your material. So this is super powerful. Take action, start building up some audiences. The other thing to know is that when you create a new audience, you can start saving them as well. So you can always pull them up and not have to do this each time. So you just click under here and click save this audience. And next time when you come back in, you can just go use the saved audience and we're good to go, okay? So there's some great tips for where you can find your best audience on Facebook. Good luck.